Other seed fell on rich soil and produced their crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Welcome again to Mission Alive from MSC Mission Office. Today we'll talk about the rich soil, the good soil, and the rich abundant harvest. I want to go back a few years, a little story. I came down from Papua New Guinea and went to a mission conference which was organised here in Sydney by the Catholic Missions Office, which is based in North Sydney. At that conference there were probably several hundred people, men and women, lay, religious, clerical and bishops. It was a great gathering. People did a lot of talking in between and in groups in many different ways. At the same time, I remember that the Essendon Football Club in Melbourne was in great crisis over performance-enhancing drugs being used for the players. Big scandal. Really rocked the club. Now, at the time, people said of Essendon that the next week they would not be able to play well. They were hopeless. They were finished for the season. This scandal would consume the club. Essendon went out the next Saturday and blitzed it, and they did well for the rest of the season. I don't remember the results. At that mission conference also at that time, the church was really being rocked by a lot of these abuse scandals, and probably rightly so. We were being attacked on all sides. Probably we deserved it, but a lot of the attack was unwarranted, was targeted, it was bitter, it was nasty. And it was having ripple effects everywhere. However, in that conference, I remember everybody was conscious of the scandal. Everybody knew there was great wrong being done and that we would suffer. However, that was not the topic of many conversations. Many people were talking about the work they were in this school or that parish or this service, or wherever they are, discussing things with their co-workers, with their confreres, with other sisters, and it was an entirely positive atmosphere that people were getting on with the job. Again, the parallel with the Essendon Football Club, they must have had a very good motivator in there somewhere, because the players went out, forgot all about the drug scandal and focused on the game, kept their eye on the ball, literally. They weren't there for the scandal, they were there to play the game. And so too with that conference. The attitude was, well, this scandal is happening, there's great wrong, we're all sorry, all the attitudes towards it. However, we are here to get on with the job. We are here to carry on the mission. Now, I read a little piece yesterday in Cath News online, and it was very revealing. They'd done a study on the Brisbane Archdiocese and found that the Archdiocese contributes $2.5 billion to the Queensland economy through its parishes, schools, social service, aged care services, disability services. These all employ people, and there's the whole flow-on effect. And just a few stats, if I may read them. This stretching across southeast Queensland, taking in 17 local government areas, 24 federal and 70 state electorates. And then it quotes the number of Catholic schools, how many students, and then so on through some of the other aged care services and other services. An enormous work. One other little example they give, being more specific, it says, in Dixon, the federal electorate of the Home Affairs Minister, Peter Dutton, the total church contribution to the economy through education and social service delivery is $87 million. There are 800 full-time jobs and 807 volunteers. This is keeping our eye on the ball. This is keeping our eye on the mission. Now, into that, you can say, and I know from experience, how much the Australian church has contributed to the church in Papua New Guinea and the Pacific, let alone other countries where missionaries have gone. Big numbers of missionaries have done enormous work there, again, in parishes, dioceses, schools, health, all kinds of works, and trained hundreds and thousands of Papua New Guineans to take over. This is the rich soil. This is the good soil. And this is the abundant harvest. This is an abundant harvest. Now, if that survey in Brisbane could be done nationwide, we would realise the enormous amount that we contribute, not only to the economy, but to the society in Australia, and multiply that outside the country in other countries. The Australian Church has done and is doing enormous work. We can stand tall with that. We can be proud of that. And we this should be out where people can see it and hear it. The church is keeping its eye on the ball. The church is carrying on the mission in thousands upon thousands of corners of this country, affecting many hundreds and hundreds of people. This is mission alive. Let's get on with it.